So COD Next has just finished, and we have got an absolute boatload of stuff to break down. We've got pros, we've got a lot of cons, I can't lie. But I have wrote down, took notes, paid very close attention to a lot of it. I'm going to give you my personal feedback, tell you everything that's been announced and what's been leaked, and we're going to go from there. So make sure you stick around at the end of the video, because there's some really interesting stuff in here that's kind of funny, I can't lie. Without further ado, we're going to start with the pros, because we got to. And the first thing is, they did do what we said about the secret thing at the end. It wasn't what they should have done, but Blackout will be kind of returning. They've said it's based around Blackout, and it's sort of like inspired by Blackout, which means they're going to do the nostalgia bit of the word Blackout and whatever. But I've always said Blackout was better than Warzone. A lot of people agree. So that's kind of a dub. I'll take it. You know, I preferred it, but honestly, Warzone just needs to die at this point. So we've got Blackout coming back to some degree. That's kind of cool, I suppose. On a more in-game section itself, the maps are fantastic. The maps, like, look-wise, phenomenal. The game itself looks a lot like Black Ops 4, as in the map design, the colours. And I like that. I really like Black Ops 4. I like the vibrant coloured maps. So I'm quite excited to actually run around on my own and sort of see how the maps play. But the looks of them, very good. The sound effects on the guns, on the footsteps and the maps as well are phenomenal. The sounds are really good. So very basic stuff, obviously. But visually and sound-wise, I'm very impressed with it. I can't lie. The gunplay looks really good. You know, I'm going to just have loads of B-roll footage of, like, other stuff and some gameplay playing while I'm talking about this, so I'm sure you can see all this, and you've probably seen some anyway. But, yeah, the gunplay looks really nice. It seems to play well with how the maps are designed and the jumping. So, yeah, it looks a lot better than Black Ops 6. And I'll get to that section in a minute, but the movement looks rather fluid. I will say, it's really, really smooth with the jumping. The jumping looks so good and so smooth. It's very natural, and I like that. And, yeah, compared to what I thought it was going to be, it's a lot better. All I'm going to say on that, though, I've got a button next to that in writing that says the Black Ops 6 movement felt really smooth, and then in the beta, but then in the game it felt very clunky compared to what it was in the beta, so I'm going to obviously wait till I've played the beta and the full game to tell you that the movement feels unbelievable. And then the streaks felt really powerful, which is something nice. It feels like you've actually earned something. You know, for example, the VTOL warship, watching Scump get one of them and just go on a mad kill streak because they're so powerful. But it's like the wraps and stuff. To get things like that require you to go on a really big streak, they feel worth it again. So it's really nice to see that. And the last thing on the pros for me was the in-game UI and sound effects look really cool. So the way that they've overhauled the sound effects for the countdowns, the futuristic UI for the domination flags, things like that all look really cool. It's nice to see that futuristic vibe again and not just have the same stuff every year. However, we are going on to the cons where the list is quite big. I'm going to start with the first thing I saw, which is the obvious one. We all knew this, but the UI and the sounds are literally the goddamn same from Black Ops 6. The only thing they've changed is the color and the text, and even then, I was watching it, and me and Tank were just listening to someone scrolling in the background, so Scump looking through the menus, and it's the exact same UI sound. Now, I know it sounds stupid because it's such a simple thing, but again, it just shows the level of laziness done with that kind of stuff, and we've had it for 5-6 years now. It's like Netflix. It looks like Netflix, acts like Netflix. The UI literally looks no different, theoretically. I mean, look at it. I'm going to put it on screen so you can see it, and look, this is Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 7 compared, and it looks identical. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, another thing I've got down here is the menu looks the same. It's all the same. All of that kind of stuff is the same, and look, the gameplay is the most important, but still, the menu is something you boot up every time you play the game. Same with the UI, you have to access and use, and it becomes rather a pain in the ass when you see the same stuff over and over again, and it isn't nice to use, because it hasn't been nice to use for 5 or 6 years, like I said. So, yeah, not too great with that. Rather pissed me off, I can't lie, that they still haven't gone down that road of changing it. Sure. The next part is the pointless cinematic that, again, they've done since Cold War now, or 2019, where you've got your characters walking, and it just uses your PC's resources to load that in and whatever, or your console's resources, and it's just, again, a pointless cinematic of your characters. Me personally, I would like to just have the guys at the side of the list, all the players in the lobby. If I want to see their character, I'll go over, I'll scroll over, and I'll look at them. But no, we've got to go back to this dumb, stupid, like, pointless cinematic, whatever. So yeah, personally, again, just to go with the menu stuff, I'm not a fan. Never have been a fan of it. I think it's just stupid and pointless. On to the next section. We have got, I can't believe I'm going to say this. Ranked play will be released in Season 2. And that's ranked for Warzone and multiplayer. Season 2. That's not, like, that's March, dude. That's March of next year. And by then, the game's going to be dead anyway, probably. So, to me, that's kind of mental. Look, I always agree. Leave it a bit later. Don't release it on launch because you need to get a feel for the maps, all this, the guns, whatever, and the modes. But Season 2 is absolutely criminal, in my opinion. And, yeah, it's just kind of nuts that that's how late they're going to leave it this time round. So, sure. Rank play Season 2 in March. Great. Now, this is another thing, and this is for multiplayer. No map voting. So, I don't know if that's just because it's the alpha build, but Black Ops 6 had map voting in the beta. We've got the beta in 2 days. I don't know if it's going to have map voting, because it didn't have it at the event. I don't know if it's, like I said, because it's like an alpha build, but there was no map voting whatsoever. So, I don't know, again, if that's going to be in the beta or not. If it's not, that sucks. Why would we go back when we literally just had it in Black Ops 6 and everyone loves map voting? Personally, I'm hoping it will be in the beta and it's just because they're playing on the alpha. That's what I'm guessing, but I wanted to bring this up because if that is the case, that's a huge negative step in the wrong direction and they're just taking things away that don't need to. So, just kind of pointless if you ask me, the fact that, you know, there's no map voting, because, again, this is something that they took out for years. We went mental, they finally brought it back, and then they've took it out again. Sure, whatever. Now, there is 2 more points that are... Sorry, 3 more points I want to talk about that are quite important. The time to kill is just way too fast. And Scump said the same thing on stream. He did not expect the guns to kill this fast. I'm watching him 3 and 4 bullet people every single gunfight, multiple weapons. The Peacekeeper melts, the other 2 main subs melt, the M8A1 melts. Every gun just absolutely rapid deaths. So, and they said they were using Black Ops 6 time to kill. Now, I didn't like Black Ops 6 time to kill. I felt it was too short. This is even quicker. So, for me, Black Ops 4 was perfect. You had 200 health or 150 health, whatever, and it was like a 5-6 bullet minimum, and you had the heal option as well. Adds more skill to the gunfights. You've got to hit more shots, and it adds more variety to the gunfights. This time round, I don't know if you remember, but COD Ghost, you used to get 3 bulleted left, right, and center. Sometimes even 2 bulleted by some of the guns. Like, it was so fast. And that was a big problem for Ghosts. And yeah, I don't want to see that again. Hopefully they're going to change that in the actual game or maybe the beta. But the time to kill was way too fast. I've seen a lot of people talking about that already, saying that the time to kill was rapid. So that's a big talking point, because we've said this before. We don't want the time to kill to be too short, because when you do, it takes away from the game and the mechanics and the multiplayer, because you don't have time to react, and it doesn't look as good, it doesn't look as entertaining from a viewership perspective. So the time to kill definitely needs adjusting. And then onto the zombies section. The zombies just looks the same, in my opinion. I've not played since Cold War. I mean, I did a little bit of dilly-dally and dabbling into Vanguard and Modern Warfare 3, and they both were the worst zombies I've ever played in my life. Played maybe 10, 20 minutes, half an hour, an hour, that's it, max, in the whole year. And they sucked. Last year was way worse. Modern Warfare 3 is terrible. But Black Ops 6 zombies, again, not a fan. And it's just not what I enjoy as zombies. I miss the grittiness of it being scary and freaky with, like, World at War zombies, the atmosphere, things like that, and stuff like that. So, to see this new one that's massive and all these mad features, all these gauntlet things, all the mini-maps, the armor, it's just not for me. It looks the exact same. So, I'm not going to touch too much on that. But the part that bothered me with zombies is people have been saying we're getting this cursed mode of zombies, which is meant to be classic zombies. You get a pistol, no armor, no mini-map, and 4 perks, and it's meant to be classic, which is all great. Like, I'm totally down and up for that. Like, I'm down for that because I want to play old school zombies. But then people say on the stream at COD NEXT, they say that there's going to be these things you have to collect called relics, and it's like adding skulls on Halo, where each one makes the game harder with modifiers. That's not classic zombies. I don't understand how hard it is. And I saw loads of people in the COD NEXT chat typing this and saying the same thing. Why not just make basic zombies? It's a piece of piss. Make classic zombies and let people play that. If they want to go play the modern one, let them go play that. It's not that hard, but instead you've got to add stupid twists on it and make it different. They are adding the survival mode back, which is obviously from Black Ops 2 with farm, with the bus depot, things like that. And I'm excited to play survival as long as it's what it was back then with limited stuff, no minimap, no stuff like that. But to sit there and think we're getting classic, and then I'm like, oh, what's this? We're not? That was kind of a blow. It kind of sucked. And just on the side of zombies, it's kind of just overall. Dempsey looks ass. My guy's built like a bodybuilder and covered in tattoos. Like, I don't understand why you've given him a complete change of character. I don't remember him having tattoos, and I don't remember him being built like Arnold back in his prime. Like, they just seem to be changing everything. Like, he's the only one that really looks mega different from what I've seen, but he just doesn't look like Dempsey at all. So, again, just a little side note on that one, because I was like, bro, me and Dean were just sort of like, this doesn't look like him. On to my last point about the multiplayer, the aim assist. Now, what do I think of the aim assist? So far, I can't make too much of a comment because I haven't played the game, obviously. But from what I was seeing, and I deliberately looked through multiple streamers. Obviously, I wasn't just going to stay on Scump when I'm looking at this because of how good he is and other pro players. It seems like it's not as sticky as what it used to be in some of the other CODs, which is good. When I played the Battlefield beta, I really noticed the lack of aim assist, which is good. That's the sort of level I wanted at, where you have to actually be accurate and good. And it feels a little bit less. It's still there, obviously, still a little bit sticky, but it didn't feel as strong as some of the previous CODs, so I'm quite happy with that, but I'll have to play it. I can't tell you right now that that's fact or factual. I'll have to sit and play it myself, so over the next few days, I'll be making videos on that and letting you know if that's the case. Hopefully the aim assist is definitely turned down a little bit. I can't see it being massively drastically turned down, but, well, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what kind of aim assist we're going to have going into the beta, and then we'll know for sure how strong it is, obviously. So the next thing I'm going to sum up is quite a big one, and that is the maps in the multiplayer of Black Ops 7. We all know that Black Ops 6 sucked for maps, so this was quite a big one. The maps felt, from what I could see, they felt very Treyarch. 3-lane maps, they look very Black Ops 4, like I said earlier. Arsenal vibes, they've got very Gridlock vibes in the maps of BO4. And they just played like an old school Treyarch game. I kind of liked them, and the wall jumping was rather cool to see, jumping up into windows and that. So yeah, I actually am looking forward to playing the maps. They're 1,001% better than Black Ops 6 already. I can tell you that hands down, factual. It just doesn't even look close. So the maps look really good. The Forge, again, looking really cool. So there's some good maps in there. I think the one that stood out to me more that looked like very Black Ops 4, the Tonshin or whatever it called, Toshin, the Japanese one looked that was one that looked like Gridlock from Black Ops 4. Kind of enjoyed watching some of the people play that. And then there was another one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was very Infinite Warfare-esque. It looked like one of the maps called Crusher on Infinite Warfare in the middle section, in the middle part. And it just, yeah, it looked good. It seemed like it played pretty well. So, like I said, it's nice to see a game where the maps seem rather fluent and don't seem to be all over the place. So with my conclusion of the COD NEXT event and all of the Black Ops 7 things I've seen so far, everything I've witnessed and everything I've been told and seen and all the leaks, I'm going to give you my conclusion of what I think is happening, going to happen, what's already happened, and everything going forward from today. Do I think they've done enough to compete with Battlefield? No. I've said this for the last month or so, right? Or a few months. Battlefield 6 has been cooking, frying. It looks great. It looks phenomenal. They've been pushing at COD for the last few months. COD had to do something big and announce some kind of big secret, skill-based matchmaking, whatever it is, to really bring their fan base back. They failed to do so. Instead, they announced Blackout, which, yeah, okay, you're giving us a reminiscence thing of that, where we get some nostalgia bit back, we get Blackout, whatever, sure, but that's not, like, and the thing is, I'm watching the chat, and it's exactly what we all say, skill-based matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking, EOMM, skill-based damage, everything, whatever, all these things, right, and that's what everybody wants, it's what everyone's wanted for years, they still refuse to do it. I think, exactly what I said before, if they didn't pull something out the bag and Black Ops 7 doesn't go hard, and look, as far as go hard, I mean, do something drastic. And really haven't. The game looks good compared to Black Ops 6. Yes, so far. I'll agree on that and say, yes, it does. But as I've said, people are sick and fed up of the slack like that they give. They don't do... They're like simple things. Just think about it. To not change the UI sound effect and make it its own for a completely different game in a different era. Black Ops 6 is set in the 90s. Black Ops 7 is set in 2035. Using the same sound effect for the menu. You've got the same layout. It's just pure laziness. So, people are sick of it. I genuinely am excited for Battlefield 6. And COD right now, look, from a multiplayer standpoint, like I said, apart from the time to kill and a few other little things here and there, the maps look good, the movement looks good, and so far it looks good. And I've said this before, I'm never going to blow smoke up their ass, and I'm never not going to give them credit where it's due either. The game looks not bad. I look like I could play it, you know? And I'm going to play it in the beta and give you my thoughts then. But they have not done enough. I'm sorry, they really have not done enough for myself and probably for 90% of the fan base when it comes to making changes that matter. You know? No disbanding lobbies. No skill-based matchmaking getting tweaked. The UI system is exactly the same. The only positives there, the maps are changing, and obviously the movements are no more attack sprint. Like, yeah. But, again, it's face value. They're not changing the things that everyone wants. So, I don't think they've done enough. I don't know if they're going to change something between now and launch. It's highly, highly unlikely. But there is always that possibility, I suppose, due to the fact of the amount of uproar that might happen or may not happen. Personally, I think people are going to talk about it. I think people are going to start talking about the fact they didn't do something big by talking about all the skill-based damage and skill-based matchmaking and whatever. And I think that's what's going to make them do a change if they do. That's, again, saying if they do. But from a hardcore Call of Duty veteran fan, from myself's opinion, I think exactly what I said last year. This is the year COD could possibly kill their own franchise by just completely neglecting the fan base, which they've done for years. But it seems like now, with the fact they've got competition, it's still not enough for them to sit there and change the formula that's completely killed the game. I don't know. Let me know in the comments. What do you guys think of everything you saw? You know, what everything you've seen. What about COD Next? What about everything else behind that? Things they didn't announce, things they did announce. Were you surprised? I had pretty low expectations going in. There was a few things that I didn't expect and a few things I did expect. But let me know in the comments, because I'm curious to see what you guys think of the beta so far. I mean, I say beta, obviously it's like a closed alpha, whatever it is. But from what you've seen so far, let me know, because I am curious, what would you rate it out of 10? Let me know out of 10. What would you rate it? Like I said, right now, from what I've seen, I'm going to give it, like, maybe a 6 or 7. Because I like the gameplay so far. I don't like the UI. I don't like the menu, obviously. So, you know, that's massively holding it back. But just gameplay standpoint, yeah, it looks pretty decent. So, I'll give it a 6 or 7. Let me know in the comments what you guys are going to give it. And like I said, over the next few days, I'm going to get my hands on the beta. And possibly tomorrow, I'm going to try to do the New Zealand thing. Hopefully get it a bit early, and then I'll definitely make a video going into the weekend early. But I don't know, man. It just feels like it's very hit and miss at the moment, because they've definitely underperformed and underdelivered, in my personal opinion. I'm sure a lot of you in the comments agree. And yeah, man, I'm looking forward to getting my hands on it. I can't lie. But yeah, that doesn't mean that I think they're doing a great job. Not by any means whatsoever. I think they really missed the mark, as I said. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Yeah, I can't wait to get on the beta, like I said. And I'll see you guys all on the beta. Don't forget to start getting it preloaded. I believe it's on Thursday. And get your own opinion. Don't just listen to me. Don't listen to anyone else. Go and get your own opinion. Play the game and see how you find the game yourself. Because the biggest problem right now, all these people that are at COD Next, it's a marketing event. They can't sit there and say the game's bad. You need to go and play it yourself. You need to experience it yourself. And then you can say, oh, I genuinely enjoyed this. Or I genuinely hated this. And then you will have an honest opinion of Black Ops 7, whether you want to buy it or not. I will not be buying it regardless, even if it's the best COD of all time. They're not getting money off me. I've already got Game Pass, so I'll get it on Game Pass. I hope you all do the same and don't give them $70. or $100 if you get in the hardened edition or veteran, whatever. But yeah, just do your own research, do your own gameplay, and see what you think of it. But like I said, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like and sub if you're new. As always, it helps out a ton. And I will catch you in the next one.